Hello, everybody. Welcome. Just waiting to go live. And okay, yes, so we are live. Welcome to today's topic of the number one for taking back your power from food. It is not, it doesn't have anything to do with food. It's what happens in your head. I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by that, as well as give you 3 strategies to rewire your brain for progress and success. Okay, because look, if you are anything like the women I talk to and the woman that I used to be for a very long time, you're kind of feeling stuck, right? You're swimming in that cycle of I'm going to try again, and then I mess up, and then I feel guilty, and then I failed, and then I sit and I'm miserable, and then I'm going to try again, right? And it's just over and over and over again. And it's exhausting, right? Tell me if this is an exhausting cycle for you. It was for me for so long because we're trying to figure out, well, what's the best way to eat, the right way to eat. Meanwhile, I've got these cravings and I'm eating when I'm stressed and I'm eating once the kids go to bed and I'm thinking about the next time I can justify eating and how long do I need to wait until I'm actually hungry, and is it physical hunger or emotional hunger? I can't even tell the difference, right? And that's taking over all our thoughts and our energy during the day, and we just wish we knew how to change it. Okay, and that's why I'm here. So if we have not interacted very much or at all, my name is Kim Lakoski. I am a health and mindset coach. I host this group and this talk here for you because I want to help you take back your power from food. I do that here. I also do that inside Aligned Body Mind Method, my VIP coaching program, where I help women cut the mental and emotional ties to food so that they can take back their power and show up the way that they want to, with confidence and strength and power in their daily life in a way that aligns with them. They do it on so they can do it on their own terms instead of following someone else's rules, right? So here today, we're talking about inside the Aligned Body Mind Method, there are 3 pillars, okay, that we use to do what I just mentioned. And the second pillar is rewiring, and that's rewiring our old programming system, okay, so that we can create change in habits that stick. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a little bit from that second pillar today. I'm going to give you a little inside peek. But when I talk to women, okay, and I say, like, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you want to change? What do you want? And the answers I get, I think it's so fascinating. So fascinating because the answers I typically get go something like this. My jeans are too tight. I can't stop snacking at nighttime. I'm way too much. I have extra weight on my body, right? I have cravings. I'm stress eating every night or every afternoon, right? I'm not fit enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not pretty enough. And it goes on. And if you rewind for a moment, the question I asked was not, well, what's wrong? The question is, well, what do you want? What do you want help with? What do you want? And I end up hearing a lot of, well, this is what I don't want, right? But it's normal. It's normal because our brain is wired for a negativity bias. Okay, so there's a lot of talk out there about, you need to stay positive and only focus on the positive, don't focus on the negative. But we need to recognize, and this is where I think knowing the science behind our brain, how it works, is really important when we try and make the changes that we want to make. Okay, because our brain kind of controls everything we do. Our brain is biased toward negativity, and for a really good reason, because back when we lived in caves, we needed that. We found a berry we hadn't seen. If we weren't automatically suspicious and thinking that could be poisonous, it could kill me, then we'd be eating up all the poisonous berries and die, right? Or we're always scanning for a tiger or a lion or mountain lion or or whatever, some predator that could jump out at us. We needed to always be scanning and on alert because those were the kinds of threats that we were dealing with. Okay, or if someone got sick, even just a mild sickness, we needed to be prepared to do everything we could to help it because there were no antibiotics, right? A mild illness or a slight infection, even though we didn't know what infection was back then, was lethal. I mean, it was fatal. Okay. Now, our society has evolved, right? Most of us don't have those types of life threatening um, events or factors in our day the way that we used to, but our brain hasn't evolved. It still it still works in the same way. Okay. And so therefore, our body is primed to see the negative as a protective mechanism. Okay, that's normal. Okay, so what happens is we see what is not working, what we don't like, what is not going well. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go back to my original question. Well, what is it that you want? Oh, my jeans are too tight. I weigh too much. I overate last night. I can't stop. I stress eat. I emotionally eat. I have cravings. Those are all the things that are not going well. And once you understand, once you start to see this pattern, and I want you to start paying attention to it yourself. Once you start to see this pattern, you realize, oh, yeah, you're right. I do that. And it's not just around our weight and food. And okay, that's the context that I'm talking about because that's what I know that you're looking for help on. Okay, but this could apply to our relationship or our finances or our jobs. Okay, so once you understand and start to pick up on that pattern of how your brain is geared for negativity bias, then you can start to be able to be proactive to rewire so that you are focused on what is going well, what it is that you actually want. Because once we start to wire our brain for what we want, then it's going to start to look for evidence. It's going to start to pick up on the evidence in our lives of what it is that we want, what's going well. And then we start to build a little momentum. We start to build some success. We start to actually get to where we want to be. Okay, because our brain is a linking machine. Okay, when we have a thought, I'm giving you some brain science here. When we have a thought, our brain looks and is always scanning for evidence to support that thought. Okay, so I had too much to eat last night. Okay, so my brain is going to be looking for evidence. Well, yeah, I can remember all the foods that I ate last night and how I went to bed with my stomach hurting, and I woke up this morning and I could tell my stomach just didn't feel good, and I felt tired and heavy and lethargic. Okay, but what it's not seeing, it's not linking, is how um, I had a really healthy dinner and I had a really good night's sleep. And this morning I can get up and I can go for a walk and all the positive things that I'm doing for my health. Okay, so I want you to be focusing on all the positive things that you're doing for your health because when we're only focusing on the negative, then we're just kind of sitting in the problem and that's when we get stuck. Okay, so sitting in the problem, when we're only seeing what the problem is, we can't find the solution. Okay, so here's strategy number one. Become an expert at finding solutions. Okay, telling me your jeans are too tight and you ate too much last night. Okay, but that may be true. But if that's where I put my focus, then that's all I'm going to see. And I'm going to sit in, all day long. Ugh, my jeans are too tight. I ate too much last night. I'm beating myself up. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better. And meanwhile, the options, the solutions, okay, are parts of the solution of drinking some more water today, going for a walk, getting a good night's sleep, right? Wearing clothes that are comfortable, that feel good on my body, that I feel good in. These are all great solutions, but I'm not gonna see them if I'm over here focused on the problem. Okay. There is a solution to every problem. Absolutely. You might not be seeing it. And if that's true, then I would ask you, is that because you are focused on the problem? So become an expert at finding solutions in your day to day life. Okay. It might not be the whole big solution. Okay. You want to lose 40 pounds. It might not be the solution to lose 40 pounds, but it might be the solution to, well, what can I do today that's going to help me move closer to my goal? What are one or two changes I can start to make that'll start to get me closer? Okay. So become an expert at finding solutions. So you move yourself out of the problem to the solution. Okay. Second is going back to the brain here. If we are always, if our brain has a negativity bias, and we're not going to change that, okay? That is hardwired into us. It's a done deal. That is true. We can begin to prime our brain for wins and successes. Okay, so how do we do that? Start looking in your life for what is going well. Okay, not just the solutions like I was talking about, but what's going well in your life? What are you grateful for? Okay, what do you like to do? Start paying attention. You can write these down. You know, when I'm working with women inside the Aligned Body Mind Method, we do a lot of journaling, real specific journaling that I have designed. I've designed a signature format for journaling in order to facilitate change faster, more effectively. So we talk a lot about journaling. So journaling, just writing down things, what you're grateful for each day, what's going well, what you're proud of. When you make this a practice, it can start to prime your brain to see, oh, look at what's going well. Okay, it's not all bad. There are, I can make some changes. There are some positive things happening. Okay, so prime your brain for wins. Get it out of that negativity bias. Help it to start to see what's going well. Because think about it. Are we going to take really good care of something that we really don't really like very much? Right? If we don't like something, if we don't feel good about something, we're not going to take very good care of it. But when we love something, when we feel good about something, when we're excited about something, we're a lot more likely to take really good care of it. Same way, if we're feeling pretty bad about ourselves, we're a lot less likely to take good care of ourselves and the choices that we make. Okay? But if we feel good about ourselves, we see things that are going well, that will feed into us feeling a little more excited and motivated to make some better choices, right? To have the salad, to eat the veggies, to eat whole foods over ultra processed foods, to drink the water, all those things that are part of a healthy lifestyle, but we got to actually enjoy doing them. We need to want to do them in order for them to actually be sustainable. Okay, so third, as I'm going through this, as you're listening, please put in the comments below of these strategies, which one of these is something that you're going to start doing? Okay, because I don't just share these just to give you information and hand off some strategies to you. I want you to actually take action. I say this a lot. You're creating change in your life does not come from watching this video. It does not come from watching 500 videos. It comes from taking action one day at a time. You need to implement and create change in your life a little bit at a time. And those little steps over time create massive progress. Okay. So, third strategy, asking yourself powerful questions to open up solutions. Okay. So, I talked about finding solutions, becoming an expert at finding solutions. Well, how do you do that? Right? Maybe you're in a situation where you really don't see a solution, a step forward, a change you can make. Okay. So, one of the skills that we learn in the aligned body mind method is the skill of using powerful questions. Okay. So start to ask yourself, well, what, this is one of my favorites. I'll give you two of my favorites today that you can use. Okay. What would be an improvement today? Okay. Because sometimes we know, like, yeah, exercising every day and eating a really like a whole foods diet, eating really clean, and meditating and 8 hours of sleep. We know all the things that are part of a healthy lifestyle, okay, according to experts out there. But to go from where you are right now to all those things, it's just overwhelming. It is. It's too much. And if you think back to different times that you've maybe joined a program or a plan of some kind and tried to create a lot of change at once, it didn't last, right? Because the key to creating sustainable change is not to take on as much as possible all at once. Okay. One of the keys, and there are others, but one of the keys is to create changes in small steps that feel manageable and doable. Okay. So asking yourself, what's an improvement for me that I can do? Okay. That starts to open up some options for you. Okay. The second question I'm going to give you, so if you got pen and paper, I hope you're writing these down so you can use them. Okay. The second question is, what's the next best choice I can make? Okay. What's the next best choice I can make? Because every day we're making choices. Okay. You have a lot more control and power in your choices than what you realize. I guarantee it. And I had a woman, I shared this question with someone, this is a few months ago now. And she sent me a message afterwards. And she said, that was so helpful because she said, I think it was kind of middle afternoon, our kids were having a snack. She's like, and I was starting to snack on the chips that they were eating. And normally I would have just kept eating and eating and eating. But I realized, what's the next best choice I can make? She's like, and I grabbed an apple and I ate the apple. It's not like she didn't eat anything. She didn't stop eating, but she's like, I know a better choice right now is to have a piece of fruit than more chips. So she did that. And she said, normally that chips snack would have just snowballed into like grazing the rest of the day and nibbling before dinner and evening snacking. But because I was able to eat the apple, it got me out of that cycle. And I didn't overeat for the whole rest of the day. So using that question, it sounds really simple, but if you use it, questions can be really powerful. What's the next best choice I can make? I don't care what's going on. Okay, it might be grabbing an apple instead of more chips. It might be just breathing to lower your stress response in your body. It might be calling a friend to connect and say hi. It might be drinking water. It might just be not doing anything and just resting or paying attention to what's going on in your body. Okay, what's the next best choice? So those are three strategies. Okay, becoming an expert at finding solutions, priming your brain for wins, okay, and using powerful questions to open up your options. Okay, so I want to know, please feel free, share with me, tell me which one of these are you going to use? Okay, I don't want you to just sit here and listen. Oh, that was really interesting. Thanks, Kim. I want you to actually use these. Which one of these strategies are you actually going to use? And then come back and tell me what happened. Whether you put it in the comments below, whether you send me a message, that is completely up to you. Okay, I hope this is really helpful. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again soon. Okay, take care.